In 1990, the number of men who said that they had 6 or more close friends was around about 55%. In 2020, that had dropped to 21%. It's less than halved, right? 21% of men say that they have less than 6 close friends. The number of men who say that they have 0 close friends has increased by 5-fold from 1990, and it's now at 15%. 15% of men say that they have 0 close friends.
We all know that marriages mostly lose their charm and value over time. With more and more women showing their true colors, men have also become wary of women and how they manipulate men into marriages only so that they can live off of their resources as they monkey branch from one guy to the other. But the main reason marriages are increasing without any intimacy is because women don't want to be women anymore. There. I said it. Women want to take over the gender role of men and want to act masculine in order to assume authority, based on lies perpetuated by the woke feminist ideology. We can observe a transformational shift in the relationships between men and women as the dating scene evolves over time. With COVID-19 affecting all of us in the past couple of years, driving us to retreat into our homes and rooms, forcing us to separate ourselves and not contact people in the actual world, this environment has also changed and transformed.
In case you guys haven't seen this article, because it's been all over my social media, many women are now using it as a way to essentially blame men for their own loneliness because they are not stepping up. And while I always think that it is solid advice to look inward and improve on yourself, I also recognize that women today expect that man that she's in a relationship with to fulfill all of her emotional needs, which is truly unrealistic. Kind of like expecting him to go make 6 figures, but be home for dinner every night at 5, or be available by phone at all times to fulfill any emotional needs. And the truth is that women should be able to relate to this, because I think that women even have unrealistic expectations put on themselves. But that's usually really from internally within expectations. It's not really ever coming from the man that they're in a relationship with. He's not placing those unrealistic expectations on her like she is to him.
Solitude and loneliness are just like any other type of pain out there. Get branded with it enough times and you either stop feeling it altogether, or the pain is so minimal that it becomes easy to ignore. Keep growing stronger, gentlemen. It's the only way to survive in this insane clown world of ours.
So data's showing that younger and middle-aged men are the loneliest they've ever been in generations. Why? Because women have more options, and what happens when you have more options? You raise your standards. They're simply not tolerating poor communication skills and immaturity. Fellas, it's time to deal with those old wounds and patterns that cause you to sabotage intimacy. Go to therapy, get a coach, go to breakup boot camp. Read up on nonviolent communication. So, if you want a great partner, they're not going to tolerate your shit.
The key takeaway is that people will occasionally find a way to make things work in their favor through interpersonal contact. But that was a one-time thing. Most people, particularly men, were compelled to just use dating apps. Nevertheless, do you know what the worst aspect of dating apps for men is? Online dating is designed to undermine men's self-worth. This is due to the fact that women have always had an advantage on dating apps and social networking sites.
The world is finally healing. Rusty men are finally losing. What am I talking about? There was a recent article by Psychology Today stating there is now a rise of lonely single men. But 3 of the key reasons for this is 1. Relationship standards are increasing. 2. There are more men than women on dating apps, 64% more men. And 3. Men are deficient when it comes to dating. One huge thing that the article states is that women are becoming less tolerable of men's poor communication skills and lack of emotional availability. This is leading many single men to stay single. What I'm seeing is women are no longer accepting the bare minimum and poor behavior that in the past women were told to tolerate, which means us women are finally leveling up, which should force men to seek therapy, which is literally what the article says, or we will remain single. What do you ladies think?
Also, I have covered this in several of our earlier videos. The economics of dating apps like Tinder run on a skewed demand and supply, with incredible demand for women and a high supply of men. So, with a very low supply of men, women wield a lot of power online, because they are in the driving seat, with the ability to choose from thousands of guys per one girl. It is comparable to economics. It's not enough to just work out and put on more makeup, particularly if they do it after running into the wall. Women only need to keep their beauty at the age of 18, whilst guys are literally nobodies. Men are beginning to realize the truth and are no longer ready to treat women like idols. Women shouldn't be revered and put on a pedestal since they're just like everyone else, and they also make mistakes just like everyone else. For example, believing that giving a guy pleasure in bed is sufficient to keep them around. As a result, when Chad arrives, she tries to confine him in the hopes that he will become the man she has always desired. Chad, on the other hand, gets what he wants, including some quick action and increasing her body count. Chad does not seek commitment, as some of the nice guys she met in her 20s did. The nice guys don't want to come in and clean up the mess now that she's been run through by multiple men. It doesn't matter how she moves on top of a guy. What matters is her emotional baggage. It's not a man's responsibility to be a lifelong therapist for women who made bad decisions all their lives. Don't let these women of today ruin your emotional stability. Nothing is more priceless than that. If you decided to go your own way and take the red pill, that's a separate thing, and I totally respect that because I know you don't hate women, you just want to focus on yourself and live a better life that you feel you can without women in your equation. But if you choose to become an incel, then you really need to reconsider because that's just another form of degeneracy. You're acting exactly like a woke extreme feminist who hates on guys all day long and then wonders why there's no happiness and intimacy in your life. The primary method of avoiding becoming that extreme is to interact with women, meet more women, date more women, understand their points of view, and live a healthier lifestyle. Listen, you can't just start hating on a whole gender just because you couldn't or haven't really had the chance to spend time with them. I know that it's a horrible dent in a guy's self-esteem if all he ever receives is left swipes and ignored messages from women. There was a recent study that looked into online dating, and dating in the post-coronavirus era was carried out at a prestigious US institution. It was mentioned that there will be a whole generation of men who will not treat women favorably, as there is an increasing number of guys who are not having intimacy, especially those who are classified as being between the ages of 19 and 30. This will give rise to a variety of radical ideologies, some of which we are now seeing. These beliefs will widen the gaps between the genders and the groups that have developed inside them over the past 10 years. Only the men and women who are the true players in the dating game will determine what happens next. We might have a sense of normalcy in how dating will proceed in the future if more men can view this in a larger context and seek more women without demeaning them, and if women recognize where men are coming from and give them a chance. Women need to be women, and men need to act like men if society wants the idea of a marriage to work. Otherwise, it's just not going to work out. Instead of comparing and requiring 50-50, I hope we heal. I hope men live better lives. A man needs to be in a position of leadership, but the boss babe narrative is being advanced in today's world to convince women that they don't need men and to even denigrate them as filth. Be honest for a moment. Not all men and women are good people, and I'm not claiming that every woman is materialistic 304. I base my decisions on facts. I want you guys to recognize the trends and follow them. Of all, being a man is not simple, especially in today's society. Due to unpleasant dating experiences, unfounded accusations, or simply because women don't provide anything to the relationship besides sexual intimacy, many have already chosen to go their own way. It's a long journey, and yes, maybe it is lonely, but it is definitely infinitely better than being with stress factories we all call women. Most men have spent half of their lives trying to help, support, please, satisfy, and even live with women. They've worked in horrible conditions that endanger their lives. They've given up on their hopes and dreams just to see a girl smile as she gets an expensive gift. Men have even been patient with women when they've falsely accused them of everything negative there can be. And yet, women never understand. They don't realize what it takes to be a man and be a provider and a protector. They don't understand what it takes for men to be men, and never truly reveal the extent of their masculine capabilities. Long ago, the majority of people accepted the notion that women are naturally valuable and males are forced by nature to establish their own value. MGTOW accepts the unfairness of life, unlike contemporary women who seek out the best men without contributing anything of value to the relationship. The majority of men put a lot of effort into developing themselves and adding value. And you know what? When they go home from work after a long day at work and are in a relationship, they don't consider mistreating their partners. Men who are committed to a partnership strive to support their families and do not mistreat women or young people. A woman is just not good enough if all she offers you is intimacy and talent in bed. We are constantly being encouraged to think about this by the media and other contemporary notions. Observe the adverts and billboards in your neighborhood. There are lots of semi-naked women, which causes both men to view women as treasures and women to objectify themselves. Not only do large corporations exploit women's beauty to advertise their goods, but every day, girls also subscribe to feminist ideologies and publish provocative images on dating apps in an effort to be accepted. They do, however, also lament that men, particularly the desperate ones, objectify them. She is a 304 if she behaves like one by walking, talking, and acting in that manner. Men are sick of the way the modern dating scene treats them as throwaway objects. Men, listen up. Be thankful you can be content with what you've got. Women will always want more. Be thankful you can have great friends without being backstabbed. Work hard on your own hobbies because you don't need to look after complaining women anymore. And remember to smile and be happy because women hate that the most. Thanks for watching Man Reacts. Show us your love and support by liking this video, sharing it with your friends, and subscribing to the channel. Support us and help us spread support for men around the world. Do comment and share your thoughts. We're always up for a healthy debate and discussion.